Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm going to give it one more moment to let other people join, and then I will get started. Um, can you guys let me know if you can hear me okay? I do have a Q&A. I just want to make sure my sound is coming across okay. Thank you, Charlotte. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Perfect. If you have not created a Savvy account, you can scan this QR code if you have a smartphone. I am recognizing a lot of names. So I feel like a lot of people in here do have their Savvy accounts already. And you guys are probably here for the policy updates, which is great. But if you have not created your Savvy account yet, go ahead and scan this QR code or just um, wait until after. Lisa, everyone in this webinar will receive an email on how to sign up. So you were registered for this webinar, so you will definitely get the email. I know a lot of people do prefer to just do it on their computers and not their phone. I'm also that kind of person too. So you definitely don't have to scan the QR code. You can always wait until after. Sometimes I don't like to do like really intense stuff on my phone. Like I have friends that will like buy a flight ticket on their phone. I'm like, that's a computer vibe. Like I need my laptop for that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Few housekeepings. This is being recorded, so you will have access to it after. And then I do have a Q&A. You can disregard that. We used to turn off the Q&A, but we have it back now, so that's great. So any questions or comments, complaints, just type them out and put them in the Q&A. I'm going to be answering them live, and then we also have Mashona on the Savvy team. She's going to be typing answers as well. And then if you need closed captioning, that is a feature that we have on Zoom. Here is the agenda. I will introduce myself. I go over some student loan basics, and then I talk about the two most popular programs that we help our users with here at Savvy, which are public service loan forgiveness and then income-driven repayment plans, also income-driven repayment plan forgiveness. And then I have quite a few slides on policy updates. Definitely the most policy updates we've ever had. So much is going on right now. So I definitely think that that's going to be like the most interactive part of the webinar. Usually we do get a lot of questions during that part, and then I will also talk about getting started with Savvy. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Dylan, and I'm a customer support manager here at Savvy. I really appreciate everyone's time and being here today, so thank you so much. Meet Savvy. You are our top priority. We're here to serve student loan borrowers, not the student loans. I think one of the best aspects about Savvy is that we have a bunch of insider information. We have over 2 decades of expertise. And a lot of people that work at Savvy currently have student loans or previously had student loans. And I definitely think that that allows us to know exactly what you're going through. That way we can help you even more. Also, we're based in Washington, D.C. We are steps away from the White House. We're right downtown. So that's especially important for our policy team because they are always in the first to know when it comes to all of these policy updates. And that way they can relay the information to us. And then when it comes to customer success, we can know exactly what's going on so we can relay the information to our users. Lastly, saving has never been easier. We help all of our users take advantage of the programs that they qualify for and also like forgiveness options. I think Savvy is a great program because it's very simple to use and it allows you to sync up all your information to figure out what you qualify for. So instead of doing it on your own, and trying to figure out what loan types you have or whether you have to consolidate or not, which programs are you're eligible for or not. It can be very overwhelming and confusing. So going through Savvy and having a team of experts to guide you in the right direction is awesome. We are your official student loan benefit. A little bit more about Savvy. We partner with a bunch of different membership organizations and employers to offer this service. So I've been working for Savvy for 5 years now, and it's been so exciting to see how much we've grown over time. Here on the right are a few of the larger companies that we work with. As of today, we have over 500 companies in the Savvy community, and we're constantly growing, which is great. And we are available to you and your family members. So if you do have family members with student loans, whether they need help with forgiveness options or lowering their payment, or honestly just joining Savvy to have consistent and accurate policy updates, that is something that we can do for them. Getting into some student loan basics. Just depending on how informed you are about loans and loan type, this could be a summary for a lot of you. This could be information for some of you as well. But definitely let us know in the Q&A if you do have any specific questions on anything having to do with these slides. So these are servicers. If you do have federal student loans, you have a servicer. Sometimes people have more than one servicer, which can be kind of annoying. When it comes to federal student loans, you can't choose your servicer. So it's also kind of annoying because you could be in a situation where one day you have like Mohila, and then you switch over to Fed loan, etc. So I feel like a lot of you in this webinar have had that experience where like one day you realize that your loans have been sold to a different servicer. Just know that that's out of your control and it's nothing you're doing like wrong. It's just honestly how these federal loans work. Now getting into loan types. Loan types are important because it definitely determines your eligibility for a lot of these programs. It's okay if you don't know your loan type because that's exactly why we're here. So there is a section on the Savvy tool where we ask you to upload your loan information. That loan information comes directly from your servicers or servicer. So this is just kind of like a background information slide on loan type. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I like to start with describing direct loans. I call them the most basic loan type because when it comes to these programs that we help our users with, which are public service loan forgiveness and income-driven repayment plans, direct loans are eligible. So whether you have a direct subsidized loan or a direct unsubsidized loan, maybe you have a mix of the two, just know that it's nice to have a direct loan because you know that you're already eligible for these programs. Now, the loan types that are highlighted in red are not eligible as is, and that's also why Savvy exists. We help people change their loan type so they can be eligible for these programs. So maybe you have a FFEL loan or a Parent Plus loan. We will help you consolidate them. And I know that process can sound super confusing and overwhelming, and a lot of the times it is. But I think going through Savvy is nice because that way you have the confidence in knowing that you're actually consolidating because you have to be eligible for these programs. And then two, it's important to know that you're consolidating the loans that need consolidation. So we can help you through that process. And private loans are non-federal, so they're not eligible for any of these programs I will be mentioning today. So, getting into income-driven repayment plans. There are three primary IDRs at this time: pay, IBR, and ICR. Save is on hold due to the lawsuits. How many people in this webinar are in the Save plan forbearance? And let me know if you have any questions on that. I owe a lot of people just raise their hand. I do have a slide or a few slides on the safe plan forbearance. I feel like a lot of people always have questions on that, like whether they should stay in the safe plan forbearance or switch to a different IDR. We can help you figure all of that out because it really just depends on your personal situation. So the reason why they're called IDR plans is because they're primarily based on your income. So what that means is if you have a relatively higher income, your monthly payment will be higher. And then if you have a relatively lower income, your monthly payment will be lower. It's not just based on income. They do take into account family size as well. IDR plans are great for people with relatively lower incomes because you could be approved for a $0 payment. A lot of people that are in IDRs have super low payments. Also, those who are retired, I strongly suggest being on an IDR because since you're not in the workforce anymore, it's like unlikely for your income to be growing over time or like have like a huge change in your income, like with promotions and whatnot. So if you are retired, it's great to be on IDR. It keeps your payment very, very steady. So there's no surprises. And then also, you do need to recertify yearly. That is definitely, I think, one of the most popular things that we do here at Savvy. A lot of people join Savvy to one, find out what they qualify for, and then two, we submit the application directly to your servicer on your behalf, take the stress out of it for you. And then also, just the yearly recertifications is also something that we do. So even if you are on an IDR now, but you have not created a Savvy account, you can transfer your information to us and then we can take that over for you. IDR plans are also great because you can receive forgiveness. If you are not a teacher and you cannot get teacher loan forgiveness, or you're not in public service, so you can't do public service loan forgiveness, or maybe you're not working full time because you do have to be full time for public service, this is your next best option. IDR forgiveness, you can get the entirety of your loans forgiven through this program, which is great. How long you pay depends on the plan. So you can see here, pay plan 20 years, IBR 20 or 25, depending on when you borrowed, and then ICR plan is 25. And IDR forgiveness is great because no application is necessary as long as you're making your monthly payments and continuing to recertify your plan every year. Eventually, you will get forgiveness. So I know a lot of users are pursuing IDR forgiveness and they use Savvy to submit these applications. Evan, no. So when it comes to IDR forgiveness, it has actually nothing to do with your employer. It just requires you to be on an IDR. That's what's great about IDR forgiveness. You don't have to have that employment information at all. You can even be retired to get this forgiveness. You just need to be in an IDR plan. Getting into public service loan forgiveness. So you need three main requirements. One, qualifying employer. That's going to be government organizations at any level, federal, state, local, or tribal, or nonprofit 501(c)(3)s. They do define full time as 30 hours a week, at least 30 hours a week. So as long as you're hitting that hourly number, you will be considered full time. And then you can combine multiple part-time to qualify for this as well. So a lot of people will have like two jobs, for example, like maybe they're doing 20 hours a week at one job and then 10 at the other. However you split it up, as long as it adds up to 30, that is full time. And you also need qualifying loans. So you do need direct loans. If you don't have direct loans, like if you have fellow loans or Parent Plus loans, we will help you consolidate them. And then that way it will be changed to a direct loan. And then lastly, you do need to be on an IDR. So this actually goes to your question, Evan. You said, but if you are an IDR, you don't qualify for public service forgiveness, right? It depends. If you are in an IDR and you have direct loans and you're working at least 30 hours a week at a qualifying employer, yes, you do qualify for public service loan forgiveness. No, Marnie, the public service loan forgiveness does not need to be consecutive, which actually leads me to my next slide. The payments do not need to be consecutive, and that is great because it does offer you that flexibility. So whenever you do reach the 120 payments, that's when the loan is forgiven. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, but it is 120 payments because this program is 10 years. So it's going to be one payment every month for 10 years. That's how they get to that 120 number. You can't make extra payments to qualify sooner. So if anyone does have more questions about public service loan forgiveness, let me know. Applying for this program is very straightforward. It's definitely, I would say, the second most popular thing that we do here at Savvy, just because we do partner with so many employers that, have Savvy for their employees. So when it comes to these forms, we're likely already working with your employer. But the form is an employment certification form, also known as an ECF. And the first page is your personal information. So, since a lot of you are pursuing this program, you're definitely familiar with this form, but it's like your name, your address, your social, your birthday, your signature. And then the next page gets sent to your employer. And that's when they fill out everything else. So, the name of the business, the address of the business, the website of the business, your start date, how many hours of work you do a week. And then someone from HR will sign it as well. Thomas, we recommend that these forms are submitted annually. It's definitely not a requirement. We just think it's way easier to track your payments on an annual basis. It's totally okay if you don't. I definitely think, like, in my 5 years of working here, we've had people sign up for Savvy and they have 10 years of work and they've never submitted a form. Those situations are completely helpable. Like, we help them with their previous forms, but it can just take a little bit longer, especially if, like, you haven't worked somewhere in 10 years, or, like, let's say the business closed down. So obviously we still help people with those situations, but to avoid that, we just recommend that you submit these forms annually. Evan, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people that were on Save were switched over to a different plan. Victoria asked, how do you track payments if your loans have been sold multiple times? Um, when you submit this form, it goes to federal student aid, and federal student aid has your loan information since the day you got them. So even though your loans could have like switched over through so many different servicers, federal student aid has all that information, and that's how they're able to track your payments accurately. Um, yeah, let us know if anyone has any more questions. I see Mashona working through. We do have a lot of people in this webinar, so we will definitely try to get to all your questions. Kiefer, yeah, the buyback wait time is up to a year. So you submitted November of 2025. You should be hearing back by November of this year. I know that's the wait time now, but I definitely think that that processing will speed up. So I think you'll hear back before November just because they keep on like making progress through the buyback forms, but at the latest, November of 2026. You're welcome. April, you're saying that they didn't count back then, your faculty. What do you mean? Like, was the employer not eligible, but then it changed the business, the type of employer changed? Renee, I get into all those questions in the second half, after the policy updates, basically like how to create account and how to reach out to us. Getting into these policy updates. Save is ending. The save plan is on its way out. once the court settlement is finalized, it would end save, which means no one will be able to enroll in save. Anything pending will be denied, and every person in save will be switched to a different repayment plan. If you are in save, you can continue to stay in the forbearance if you would like, or we can help switch you to a different IDR plan. You can switch to IBR, pay, or ICR. The rules around IBR were recently expanded, so you no longer need to prove financial hardship to qualify, partial financial hardship to qualify. There are still processing delays. So before all this, all like the safe plan shenanigans took place, people could get their IDRs processed in, I would say, like a few weeks. I think processing could be up to a month now. Just know you're not doing anything wrong when you see those delays. They're just working through hundreds of thousands of applications. Over the next few years, the amount of IDRs available will shrink. As a lot of you know, all the IDRs besides one of them, they're going away. And the new plan is called the Repayment Assistant Plan, also known as RAP. This will be launching this summer, July 1st, 2026. A little bit of info about RAP. It's designed to prevent balances from ballooning by waiving unpaid interest for borrowers who make the required monthly payment. It also includes a small monthly principal benefit for some borrowers. That said, RAP's forgiveness timeline is longer than what many borrowers associate with IDR today. So that means instead of the 2025 IDR forgiveness plans, the RAP timeframe will be 30 years. Yes, Caitlin, these slides will be available and you will receive them. This is being recorded. April, I'm unsure of your question. I know this is like your follow-up to what I asked you, but I'm not sure what you mean. Are you talking about teacher loan forgiveness? But if I am unable to answer, like this might just be like a more complicated situation, so you're going to be able to reach out to us. And oh, you're talking okay. So teacher loan forgiveness, I this webinar has no info on teacher loan forgiveness. So I would say if at the end I have time to go into some teacher loan forgiveness stuff, I will, but if not, you'll be able to contact an expert because Savvy also helps users submit teacher loan forgiveness. So I do apologize. We don't have any info on that in this webinar. Wage garnishment restarts for defaulted borrowers. Wage garnishment was scheduled to restart in January with initial notices expected in early January. However, as of last week, we do have an update. Wage garnishment is currently on hold following recent federal guidance, and enforcement has been paused until further notice. We actually don't know when this is going to be unpaused. So as soon as we do know, we will let all of our users know. A little bit more info about wage garnishment. It allows for up to 15% of disposable pay to be withheld from each paycheck. It can start quickly once you're in default, and it can pull money straight from your paycheck without a court order. It's hard to reverse. So, that being said, if you are in a situation where you're struggling to make your monthly payment, maybe you're in default, definitely reach out to us. That is also something we help our users with. We help our users get back into good standing with their loans, stay in good standing, and also get out of default. There are two ways to get out of default, and it just depends on your personal situation. And that's something that we can help you with. If you're in save, that doesn't mean you're in default, correct? Yeah, save does not equal default. If you're in save, it's impossible to be in default because you're in a forbearance. So it's basically like your servicer is saying that you're in save because of the court order, you can't make payments. So I know that can kind of be scary because it's like, oh my God, save has been going on since July of 2024, I think. Yeah. Yeah. July of 2024. Wow, that's like over a year ago. But it's okay if you haven't been making payments since then, you're not in default, you're just under the forbearance. How do you know if you're in default? Your servicer will send you notices, so they will probably mail you, and then also your servicer portal or your FSA account will say that you're in default. Also, if you need help with that, that's also something we can help you with, just determining if you're in default or not, but it should be within your servicer portal. Many borrowers are near default cliff. More borrowers are falling behind. A lot of people are choosing between paying their student loans and covering basic needs, rent, food, utilities. Falling behind can turn into default fast. It is insane how quickly one, two missed payments can launch your loans into default. It's wild. That's why having an IDR plan is really important and just like making sure that you're in a repayment plan that you can afford is important because as soon as you hit default, it's a process to get out. It's definitely not impossible, but it is a process. The system is making it harder, not easier. Repayment options keep changing. Servicers are hard to reach. Cost of living is high. So, definitely this year, 2026, a lot of people will be in default. No, April, teacher loan forgiveness is different than public service loan forgiveness. So I'll say this on teacher loan forgiveness. Um, you can get $5,000 or you can get $17,500. You do need to be teaching consecutively for 5 years. And depending if you get the lower or higher amount depends on what subjects you teach. So math, science, and special ed, you'll be entitled to the $17,500. And then if you're teaching anything else like English, history, art, things like that, that's 5,000. So that's just like a very rough summary. But like if you are eligible, you can create your Savvy account and we will basically the same thing goes for public service loan forgiveness. We'll get all the forms filled out for you, confirm your eligibility, and submit to your servicers. Yes, you can retroactively apply your years in teaching to get teacher loan forgiveness. Yes, you can. You're welcome. No, it's not college. Unfortunately, it is K through 12. Sorry, I did not mention that. Math, yeah, math is going to be the higher amount. Oh, and then you also do need to be working in a low income school. And that's something that we can help you determine. Yeah, Jade. So right now our engineers are working to put the RAP on our just like within the Savvy software because it's not in there right now because no one can apply for it yet. So as soon as we do put that in our software, you will be able to go in there and determine how much you're going to be paying on RAP. It's just not in our software yet, but it definitely will be because a lot of people will have to transition. And yeah, it's going to be important once that comes out, especially for your situation. You're bringing up like if you're going to be filing jointly or individually. We'll be able to determine which pathway is best for you so you can save the most money. So stay tuned. As soon as that's within our Savvy software, we will be reaching out to all of our users. Forgiveness is real, but progress is harder to see. I know a lot of the times people can't see their PSLF progress, and also the IDR tracker is honestly, it seems to be down so often, so a lot of people can't see like their progress towards IDR forgiveness. And this lack of visibility can be very stressful. That's also a reason why I always recommend Savvy, just because we're gonna make sure that you stay on track. It doesn't matter which forgiveness option you are pursuing, but we will keep you on track to make sure you get the forgiveness that you're entitled to. Getting into some Parent Plus stuff. Parent Plus borrowers have a major deadline. I feel like a lot of you have probably heard about this. If this is new information, definitely ask any questions you have. Parent Plus loans rules change in 2026. Borrowers will have fewer repayment and forgiveness options, and timing will matter more than ever. So you do need to consolidate if you want to keep your options open if you have Parent Plus loans. Borrowers who don't complete consolidation by July 1st risk losing access to IDR plans and forgiveness. So if you have Parent Plus loans and you want to keep your options open for forgiveness, you need to make sure that they're consolidated by July 1st. That being said, we recommend that the consolidation applications are submitted by April 1st to give enough time for federal student aid to actually process them by July 1st. Missing the deadline has consequences. Affordable payments and forgiveness pathways may no longer be available. So if you do have Parent Plus loans, um, I recommend creating a Savvy account so you can reach out to us so we can make sure that you consolidate on time. PSLF remains the new employer rules on the horizon. PSLF was written into law in 2007, so this is a protected program. I feel like there seems to be some confusion around that, with basically people saying that public service loan forgiveness will go away. It's so unlikely just because it is a law and yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. It's a very, very sturdy program. However, the new employer eligibility rules do take effect this year. So the Department of Education is going to determine which employers are banned from public service because they believe they're tied to quote unquote illegal activity. We don't exactly know which employers these are going to be. However, we know that it's not going to be the majority of users, or sorry, the people that are pursuing public service loan forgiveness. It's going to be a very, very small amount of people. As soon as we know who those employers are, we will let everyone know. Most public servants will not be affected. So let me know if you have any information on that. Yeah, Jordan, that's a really good point. Um, since most are going away, does it matter? No, it really doesn't matter. So if you're saying pay versus IBR versus ICR, just depending on the goals you have for your loans, it just depends. If you want to pay the least amount a month and your goal isn't to like pay your debt down as soon as possible, I would choose the plan that is the least amount every month. If you want to be paying more to kind of shave down your debt, then I would choose one that has a higher monthly payment. Also just determine it depends if you're pursuing forgiveness. But yeah, since they're going away, um, it doesn't matter which one you choose, just depending on your goals. And that's something that we can help you with. You're welcome. Okay, I like to stop here to see if anyone has any questions I can answer before moving on to the second half. Katie, um, are you talking about your servicer account or your federal student aid? I think federal student aid is more accurate, and if you can't see your IDR tracker or your PSLF credits, there's usually always wording at the top that says, hey, we're still going through and like going through people's accounts to make it as accurate as possible, so your account might not be updated yet. So I always recommend to look at federal student aid. Yes, Lisa, it has to do with if I can remember the exact quote, this is not going to be verbatim, but it's going to be like public institutions that like help out with or do work regarding like illegal immigration, working with trans youth. What was the other one? I can't remember all of them, but the two that I can think of are immigration and trans healthcare or something like that, that they define as um, illegal activity. This is directly from the one big beautiful bill. Um, yeah, just want to just want to make that clear. Um, no, Lisa, that doesn't mean that you have to hurry, but it just means that, well, if you, for example, if you do figure out that the hospital that you work at will not count for PSLF, then none of your previous payments will stop counting. It just means that once these rules take effect, then every payment you make thereafter will not count. So I honestly don't know what people are going to do. I think like a lot of people are like in public service and like have chosen their, their loans, their school, their employment specifically because they know they can get their loans forgiven. Like this is a loan forgiveness is such a huge deal. This affects literally all aspects of your life. So at least the users that I have talked to when this news came out, they're saying that they are going to switch employers. Like if this actually affects them and they can't pursue PSLF at their employer, if it does get banned, they're going to switch employers in order to continue the process to get their loans forgiven. Yes, we do offer one-on-one meetings. I will talk about that in the second half, like how to create your account and then how to reach out to us. Thomas, I think, yeah, if you have any issues with how they're counting your payments and you know for a fact that specific months should count, but they're not, you can reach out to us because I think that should be a complaint. It's called an ombudsman complaint, and it's something that you can submit directly from your federal student aid account. It basically will be solved within like, I believe 14 days. They have like a specific group of people that will figure out the discrepancy on your behalf, which is nice. Like looking at your form and then looking at the information in federal student aid to make sure that they're actually, processing the forms correctly. So it sounds like they're not. So I definitely recommend doing a complaint and we can help you do that. Yeah, Evan, I don't know specifically about Columbia University, but if somewhere does, um, I guess, have healthcare for transgender youth, I know for a fact that is something that they are targeting. Lisa, what is PMTS? Oh, sorry, I think that means payments. Does forbearance count as payments? No, it does not. Forbearances don't count. Okay, sorry, let me retract. The COVID forbearance counts, and the safe forbearance can count if you do the buyback process. So we can help you do that. It's weird. My FSA says my payment is $100 less than what Mohila is taking out of my bank account. That is strange. I would reach out to us so we can figure out what's going on. There could be a lag in the servicer and federal student aid communicating, but it also could be a situation where where your servicer is taking too much money out, especially if you can see for a fact that your FSA account says you should only be paying a certain dollar, a certain amount. We can help you get that money back. That also is a complaint process if they're taking too much money out. So we can help you with that. You're welcome. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. A lot of options can definitely leave you lost, as you can see from all of these questions and policy updates. It can be very confusing. And that's exactly why Savvy exists. So you're able to see everything you qualify for when it comes to repayment options, forgiveness options. We're always monitoring for new programs and policy changes and updates. Especially right now, I think that's the most important thing because it just seems like everything is changing. Um, Also, the more just paperwork aspect of what we do, like if you do need anything submitted to your servicer or to federal student aid, and if you are a Savvy member, we will fill that information out for you and submit it to those people. And then you do have access to our customer support team. And that could be our calling center, that could be one-on-one phone calls, that is also email and chat. Kiefer says, can you go over the incorrect payment issue? What's the name of the form? Or are you talking about the complaint process, Kiefer, that I mentioned? Yes. It's called the ombudsman. Ombudsman. I'm gonna type it out for you. So, three simple steps to get started. You're going to start your application, and then from there, you see your options, and then you start submitting and saving. So, I think I just have a few screenshots of the Savvy tool and what it looks like to get you a little bit more familiar before you get started. Here's the QR code again. If you do want to scan it with your smartphone and follow along and create your own Savvy accounts, you can. If not, like I said way earlier, just wait for the email after. Everyone here is going to be receiving one. So if you just want to watch and then sign up later, you can do that as well. Yeah, Lisa, I will get into the fees. I have a slide on that. Um, can you talk to us about what the buy payback process looks like for us who's been in the COVID forbearance? So COVID forbearance, there's no buyback process. That's automatic. So as long as you were working full time during the COVID forbearance, those months will just be automatically credited to you. The save forbearance is different. If you would like the save forbearance months to count towards PSLF, you will have to do the buyback. Um, that's also something we can help you with. I know a lot of Savvy users are going through the process now, but in a nutshell, the buyback is basically where you submit your application when you have completed your 10 years of qualifying work and you submit it to federal student aid. And what will happen is federal student aid will count up how many months you were in the Save Plan forbearance. And then from there, they figure out how much you would have been paying if the save plan was actually existing during that time. So if you can remember what you were paying on the save plan before you were in forbearance, that's how much they're going to be charging you every month. So we can just make it super easy. Like let's say you were in the save plan forbearance for 10 months and your payment was $10 a month. They will basically say, they will say that they're like you were in the save plan forbearance for 10 months, you should have been paying $10 a month, you owe us $100. So then they give you 3 months to make that payment. You give it to them, and then that will allow those save plan months to count towards public service loan forgiveness. Once you give them the money, then your balance will be discharged. Like that's when you get the public service loan forgiveness. um, you're welcome. So once you do begin to make your Savvy account, you will see this. You'll be able to type in your employer's name here. If it doesn't pop up, you can click this button here. Don't worry if you don't see it. It's super unlikely, but if you do, just click here. You will still have access to Savvy. Now getting into the screenshots, just to get you a little bit more familiar before you get started. This is the dashboard. You see you're able to submit a ECF here if you would like to. If you would like to see the IDR plans that you qualify for, we need your general information, so you could click here. Family section is important. We need this information to figure out your IDR estimates. Income, employment. This is important, especially for those of you doing teacher loan forgiveness and public service loan forgiveness. We need to verify the employer eligibility. And we also need to get their contact information so we can reach out to them to get these forms filled out and signed. So that's the gist of this section. Loan sync, really important. We need to figure out your loan type, just to make sure that they're eligible. If you have the Parent Plus or the FEL, we will be flagged, and that's when we will reach out to you to help you through the consolidation process. Plan options. After we get all that info, this is what the Savvy software does. It calculates everything that you're eligible for. It will tell you the name of the plan, how much you're going to be paying every month in total, how many years and months you'll be paying, and the expected amount of forgiveness. So, getting into the costs. This is a TIA bi-monthly webinar. Everyone here is with different employers, so I won't be able to tell you how much Essential or Pro is. DIY, I can't say for everyone this is always free, but just depending on which employer you have, I don't know the cost. Like some employers will cover Essential, so it's free. Some employers only cover partial of the Essential membership, etc. But I will get into which each of these memberships have. DIY, you get the personalized repayment calculator, which is nice. A lot of people like to start with DIY and not pay just to figure out if they even qualify for any type of forgiveness, which is nice. So this is the repayment calculator. With DIY, you can go through the entire flow of the Savvy software and get to this page. So it's always nice. You don't have to pay. You can always just see if forgiveness is something in the cards for you and your loan type and your employment type if you decide to upgrade to Essential or Pro. So we're able to see if you're eligible for forgiveness. And then also you get the workshops and our emails. So especially if you just kind of do your own thing, maybe submitting forms isn't hard or stressful for you, and you just want to join Savvy for these webinars and emails, DIY is going to be your best option. Essential is the most popular plan that we have. And with these two paid plans, it's a money back guarantee. So that means if you do sign up and you realize Savvy is not for you, it is a money back guarantee. But for Central, you get digital application with Savvy e-file, which just means everything is filled out on your behalf. It is nice. These forms can sometimes have a lot of information on them, so we fill out all of it for you. We make sure that your forgiveness credits are maximized. I know that there was a few questions today about people saying that their PSLF credits are not counting. And we help you through those issues, like whether we need to draft a complaint for you to submit, etc. Basically, just making sure you get forgiveness on time. You get the personalized support from our team. We make sure that your loans stay in good standing and don't dip into default or delinquency. And then, of course, policy updates. Pro's the next tier up, everything you get with Essential plus a little bit more. You get an onboarding session, you get dedicated phone support, and you get a student loan review. So let me know if anyone has any questions on that. We make it easy for you to reach out to us. There is a customer support button where you can email us, chat with us, book calls with us. We also have a help center, which is nice. You can get a lot of your, I would say, general questions answered in the Help Center. We are always writing new articles, especially with these policy updates, just super digestible and easy to understand. But yeah, if you do want to actually talk to a human for your personal situation, definitely email, chat, phone call. Okay, so here's the QR code again. Do I have a survey? Hmm. I thought I had a survey, but I apologize. I guess I do not. Um, Now I like to keep this QR code up and then I keep these 10 minutes here to answer any questions I can in the meantime. Yes, this is being shared. Charlotte, yes, you don't have to complete the entire Savvy application since your plan renews in April. Sorry. Please scratch what I said. Please contact support so we can help you through that. Someone from our customer success team will help you. You're welcome. Yes, April. If you do have questions, just press contact support. Yes, Steve, your children would need their own accounts if the loans are in their name. It looks like Michonne is typing you an answer, Charlotte. We can you type your email out to us and we will reach out to you. Okay. I just jotted down your email, Charlotte. I will email you by the end of the day. You're welcome. It depends on your partner. I can't answer specific questions about how much Essential or Pro will cost. Just because everyone here is with different partners. That information, I'm trying to think. You can go to your HR person, because we partner obviously with them, and they will be able to tell you. You too, Christina. Lisa, you can get Essential. DIY is always free. You're welcome. Yeah, DIY, you can't contact us. Yeah, Lisa, if you start with Essential and you want to upgrade to Pro, we can help you do that. And you could pay the difference. Also, some people start with Pro and they realize they don't need that much service, so they downgrade to Essential and we refund them. Yes, this is being recorded and you will have access. Lisa, there is a thing on the left hand side of your Savvy account that says invite friends and family. And if you click that, you'll be able to enter in your daughter's email. She will receive an email on the steps she needs to take to create her Savvy account. You're welcome. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, JW. You too. Okay, it looks like we were at the hour. I really appreciate everyone's time today. And I will cut this live. Thank you, April. I will be reaching out to you, Charlotte, if you're still in here. And yeah, everyone have a great rest of their day. Thank you.